All right, today we're diving into one of the biggest stories on the planet, India's massive ambition to become a developed nation. But we're not just going to talk about the destination. We're going under the hood to look at the engine that's supposed to power this incredible journey. Let's get into it.
So the year 2047, that's the big one. It'll be 100 years of India's independence, and the goal is nothing short of transformative. Become a fully developed economy. This isn't just some line on a report. It's the dream for over 1.4 billion people. But a vision that big, it needs more than just money. It needs a solid foundation of institutions that can actually get the job done.
So, with that incredible goal on the table, you have to ask, what's the catch? What's the biggest roadblock? It's not a lack of smart people or big ideas. The analysis we're digging into today says it's something much more fundamental that's been holding the country back.
And here it is. This is the core of the whole issue. It's what experts call the Great Institutional Gap. Think of it like this. India has this absolutely massive, sprawling network of organizations, but there's a huge disconnect between how many there are and how well they actually work.
I mean, just try to wrap your head around this number. An estimated 4.17 million institutions. And that covers everything you can think of. Government agencies, millions of NGOs, tens of thousands of universities. On paper, the scale is just staggering. And yet, after seeing that huge number, here's another one. India ranks 63rd when it comes to how easy it is to do business there. This right here, this contrast, perfectly illustrates that institutional gap we're talking about. It's a gap between presence and performance, between quantity and real-world quality.
So the whole problem, it really boils down to this one term, institutional capacity. Now, this isn't just about having an office and a sign on the door. It's about an organization's actual ability to do its job, to get things done efficiently day after day. This is the real horsepower of that national engine we mentioned.
Okay, so this performance gap isn't an accident. The source material points to a few really deep-rooted challenges that are causing it, some stretching back into India's history and others very much alive today. Let's break down the big ones.
First up, let's talk about resources. This chart tells you pretty much everything you need to know. India's public spending on R&D, the stuff that fuels future innovation, is just 0.65% of its GDP. Now look at China, 2.4%. And developed nations, they're typically over 2%. This underinvestment starves institutions of the fuel they need to innovate and just get better.
And it's not just funding. You've got these other major hurdles. The bureaucracy, a lot of which is a holdover from the colonial era, can create epic logjams. Then there's the brain drain, a huge challenge, with more than 600,000 skilled people giving up their citizenship in just 5 years. And while some parts of India are on the cutting edge of tech, it's really uneven, leaving a lot of institutions stuck in the past.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis of the problem. It sounds pretty daunting, right? But here's where the story pivots. Because just identifying a problem isn't enough. The research also gives us a clear blueprint for reform, a real, actionable plan for actually rebuilding that engine.
So here's the game plan, a 5-point action plan. It's about modernizing the civil service, making it about performance. It's about going all in on digital governance. It's about protecting key institutions and giving them the freedom to excel. And crucially, it's about tackling that brain drain and seriously boosting investment in R&D and other key areas.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds great on a slide, but can it really work in a country as huge and complex as India? Well, this is the most exciting part of the whole story. Because the proof isn't theoretical. It's already happening.
Get this, 40%. We're talking 40% of the entire world's real-time digital payments. That is just wow. It's a position of global dominance that was built in less than a decade, and it's the ultimate proof that when India gets institutional capacity right, it doesn't just compete, it leads the world.
So how'd they pull it off? Well, take a look. It maps perfectly to that reform blueprint. You had strong leadership pushing it forward. You had smart partnerships with private companies. And you had this relentless, obsessive focus on making it work for absolutely everyone at a massive scale. It just goes to show, targeted reform works.
And this success isn't just digital. Take a look at the state of Kerala. It consistently has the highest human development index in India.
And a huge reason why is its model of decentralization. By pushing 40% of its development budget down to local village councils, it built capacity from the ground up, making the government far more effective. And what about higher education? It's the same story. The number of Indian universities in the global top 500 has more than quadrupled since 2015. I mean, from 13 to 54, that's a huge leap. And it's overwhelmingly driven by elite institutions that live by the very principles of the reform plan: autonomy, merit, and proper funding.
So, let's pull all these threads together now. We've seen the problem, that big institutional gap. We've seen the 5-point plan to fix it. And we've seen incredible real-world examples that prove it can work. So the final step is connecting all of this back to that huge national dream for 2047.
This quote from the source material really just nails it. It captures the urgency of this very moment. India has this unique, maybe once-in-a-lifetime window. It's got the youth, the tech momentum, the growing global clout. Everything is lining up. And that means the next 10 years are absolutely critical.
And that really is the ultimate question we're left with, isn't it? The blueprint is there, the proof is there, the challenges are clear, but the opportunities are absolutely massive. With the entire world watching, is this the decade India finally rebuilds its institutional engine to power that 2047 dream? Thanks for joining us.